Alright, so Jeremy found the mother load. We already have quite a bit here. Let's see. Bush to face. You pull the lower bushes up to your face. Come around that side. It is hot out here, guys. It's like 90 degrees and we're sweating. Ooh, this looks good. And there's bees. Yeah, these are good. There's some fat ones on here.
Easy to pick too.
Yeah. Yeah, these are nice. So here we are, just enjoying our blueberries we just picked. Blueberries, blueberries. If you haven't seen the blueberry video on YouTube, you should go check it out.
Look up little girl blueberry accident or something like that, and you'll find it. It's hilarious.
It's really funny, but yeah, we just got, I think, 3.5 pounds of blueberries for $10. We picked them fresh here in Virginia, and here is our
plunder.
Massive bag.
It's like 3 or 4 pounds.
Blueberries, so. And there's my massive baby.
So, what about blueberries? What are they good for?
What did it say? It said they can improve your mood.
Vitamin C, vitamin K.
Antioxidants, iron.
Anti-aging. Stuff like that.
They're good for you. You can Google it.
Yeah.
They just taste so good. So yeah, we're gonna enjoy our blueberries. Adios.
Ciao.
All right, show me how it's done. Beginner. Your giblets running out? What's that mean? Like your foot holes? There you go. Is there a certain color you're supposed to go for? Oh boy. I think that's as high as you're allowed to go, huh? The ledge. Good job. Hey YouTube, just want to come to you and do a update. It's been a while, it's been like 4 weeks. So the last we updated you, we were in Ecuador at 32 weeks and we came home a little bit after that, a few days after that video, and I hadn't been to the doctor since 27, 28 weeks because we've been traveling. So my sister is a labor and delivery nurse. I went to see her just to check, you know, fundal height, blood pressure, you know, urine for protein, all these different things they kind of do at your appointments. So I went in and saw my sister and she checked everything out. Everything looked good, but while she was checking me, I was having pretty regular contractions. So she hooked me up to the monitor and sure enough, I was having contractions every 2 minutes and they were lasting for 45 seconds to a minute each time. And to make a long story short, that went on for over a week where I had timeable contractions, and I still do to this day, where there might be a 2 or 3 hour span where I'm having contractions every 2 to 4 minutes. But you know, I talked to my midwife and my sister, and everybody has said, you know, at this stage in pregnancy they're not really going to do much to stop it. So unless, you know, real contractions will lead to real labor, so there's not much to worry about. I contract more than the average person. which we now have an answer for, and I'll explain here in a minute. But my sister also measured my fundal height at 33 weeks, and I measured exactly 33 weeks. So they do like centimeters from your pubic bone to the top of your uterus, and I measured perfect. So at 34 weeks, Jeremy and I did our very last wedding of the year. It was outdoors and hot, and honestly though, it went great. Like, we had no issues. We got beautiful images and really had a blast doing our last wedding of the season. So we did that at 34 weeks, and we then headed home. We had not been in Virginia for 6 weeks. We'd been sleeping in strange beds and eating strange foods, and so it was really great just to get home. And I scheduled a doctor's appointment immediately, just because, again, I haven't seen my doctor since I was 27 or 28 weeks. So at 34 weeks and 3 days, we went in and saw our midwife, and they did everything, and it looked pretty good. And she went to do the fundal height, and she kept measuring, and she had me lay down and sit up and kind of change positions. And she's like, I'm trying to get a good number here. She's like, but do you see what I'm getting? And I looked down, and sure enough, I was measuring 40 weeks at 34 weeks. So I was measuring 6 weeks ahead. And the really scary thing about this is that just 6 or 7 days prior, I had measured exactly 33 weeks. So I had gained, or I had a huge jump in growth for some reason, not even just a little bit, but 6 weeks in just a matter of 6 days. So she was pretty concerned and said, I'm going to have you come back for a growth scan next week. It could be a number of things. So, and I also expressed to her during this appointment that I had been having quite a bit of itching on the bottoms of my feet, and just kind of itching all over. And she said it's probably due to the rapid growth, in 1 week, which that makes sense. And I'd also had swelling in my feet, so the itching to my feet, I was like, okay, maybe that's that. So we went back in a week later at 35 weeks and got to see our baby. We still do not know the gender. We looked away, and the baby definitely has Jeremy's nose. His side of the family, in my opinion, has a very distinct nose. And so it was unmistakable, like, that's his nose. And then I have very thin lips, I don't have much lips at all. And this baby, immediately we just saw these fat lips, and Jeremy has these big old lips. And so the baby has chubby cheeks, big old pouty fat lips, and definitely has daddy's nose. So they measured the baby, and the baby measured in the 65th percentile, weighing in at 6.5 pounds at 35 weeks. So it was a little bit of a large baby. I think at 35 weeks the baby's only supposed to weigh about 5.5 pounds. And then they measure your amniotic fluid level, and there's varying results depending on where you read, but anywhere I read says 18 or 8 to 18 is normal. Anything above 20 is considered high. Some websites say above 23 is high, some say 25. So she measured my levels at, it was 23.6. So I was definitely on a higher end of normal or the low end of high. I got a phone call 2 days later that was a little concerning, but not quite yet. She goes, well, at 24 we start to worry, but you're at 23. So we're going to do another growth scan next week and just see where we're at. And I was like, well, the number was actually 23.6. And she's like, well, I can only go off the 23. So we are going to have another growth scan tomorrow to see if my fluid level is still high. And if that's the case, I don't know what they're going to do, because it's a condition called polyhydramnios. I think that's how you say it. And there can be some complications that come with excess fluid. But everything on the baby looked good. They checked for kidney issues. They checked all these different issues that can come into play with excess fluid, and they didn't see any of them. So right now it just looks like I'm full of water, which might explain the growth, might explain the itching. So 2 or 3 days later, I think it was 3 days later, my itching got worse. It was just starting to get uncontrollable, and it was not just, on my belly now, it was kind of everywhere. I called and let them know, and they had me come in immediately and said that I could have a condition called PUPS, which I don't know what that stands for. It's a really long word, but it basically just means pregnancy itching and rash due to hormones. Or I could have a condition called cholestasis, which is actually really scary. It's where you need to go Google it, because it's a gallbladder, liver, and bile issue where your body's not processing your bile properly, and it can be dangerous for the baby. So usually if you have cholestasis, they will induce you between 36 and 37 weeks. So I got the blood test done, I want to say like 4 days ago at this point, 4 or 5 days ago, and I still have not heard the results. It's Monday morning, July 7th, and I have not heard the results. We should hear something by the end of today, not to mention we have that appointment tomorrow, but I definitely have a lot of the symptoms for cholestasis. I now have a rash all over my body. I'll show you a little bit without trying to show you my armpit, but you can kind of see that's part of what the rash looks like. And I mean, that's a mild compared to what's on my stomach, my legs, my thighs. It's awful. I can't even explain this itching feeling. It's almost like having thousands of ant bites all over your body. And with ant bites or mosquito bites, you can at least itch them until they're raw and then they don't really itch anymore. There's no relief for this. None. I mean, they prescribed me a medicine that they call Benadryl's big brother. It did nothing. They told me to get Benadryl cream. It did nothing. I've done hydrocortisone cream, coconut oil, aloe vera. I've pretty much done everything. The only thing that even somewhat soothes it is, for some reason, to have a bathing suit on that covers my stomach, because that's where it's worse. But a bathing suit that covers my stomach, and to lay in a cold pool. But even then, I just itch so bad. There's nothing that relieves it. Nighttime is the worst. And even right now, I'm itchy, but I'm trying not to itch it. Staying busy does help, like going out and about, and I'm still itchy, and I still find myself itching like I am right now. But the more busy I stay, the less I have time to sit and think about it and itch. So it's horrible. I can't wait to hear the results. It's one of those things where cholestasis is a terrible condition to have, and so is polyhydramnios, which I might have both. It's terrible. But at the same time, because I'm so miserable and in so much pain from itching, and I just feel so miserable, you almost hope that's what it is so that I can get induced and deliver this baby and have some relief. Supposedly it goes away pretty much immediately after delivery. And, you know, it's hard because we hired a doula. I wanted a natural birth, and I still want that, but I'm absolutely miserable. Like, I can't even, like yesterday, I think I cried 3 times just from sheer pain from the itching. Like, it burns. It feels like all my nerve endings are on fire, and just, I can't explain it, but it's miserable. Anybody who's had this or PUPS knows what I'm talking about. You'll do almost anything to get rid of this. So yeah, I will definitely try and update you guys this next week, excuse me, when we hear the results, because if it's cholestasis, we will be induced possibly even tomorrow. I'm 36 weeks in 3 days, so we will be induced if I have that immediately. And if it's just polyhydramnios, which is the excess fluid, we may be induced at 38, 39 weeks, because they don't want you to go too long and just get too much fluid. It can cause cord prolapse and detachment of your placenta. Like, it's just crazy, because I had just the most picture perfect, in my opinion, pregnancy up until this point. No morning sickness, no pimple. I mean, just the most perfect pregnancy, you know. And, you know, right around like that 33, 34 week mark, all the poo kind of hit the fan, and my body just started doing crazy things. And not to mention with the cholestasis, I do have a lot of the other symptoms, and you can go look those up. But not to mention, I read also that if you have done fertility treatments like IVF, you are a lot more likely to have it, just because you have extra estrogen and hormones in your body, which has to do with cholestasis. So that kind of bummed me out when I read that. I was like, yeah, you know, not to mention I have all these symptoms that match up with it. But, sorry, I'm itching. But, you know, I also did IVF, and there was something else in there that said, also, you're more likely for this and this. And I'm just like, ugh. So yeah, it's one of those things where I hope I don't have it because it is a dangerous condition, but at the same time, like, I'm so miserable that I'm just like, if it's not that, what is it? At this point, I have about 25 days left until 40 weeks, and there's no way I can make it. I will literally go clinically insane if I have to go that far. So I can use your prayers through the next few weeks. Hopefully it's not even that long, so we'll see. But that's my cheery update. Sorry if it was a little bit on the negative side, but I'm definitely done. I'm definitely miserable. And I will do my best to update you guys in the next couple days as to what the diagnosis is. Again, follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Carrie Sue Photo. And I will hopefully, be able to keep you guys up to date, and we might have a baby soon. I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.